Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to be diving deep into the brand new Engwe M20 version 2.0. Now if you're familiar with the original version 1.0, you already know that this bike packs a punch, but there are some major upgrades including more power that we've got to go over today. So we'll go over the differences between version 1 and version 2, we'll go over the rest of the features, and then I'm going to take you out on a ride. We're going to see how the new version 2.0 performs on the road, including top speed test, acceleration test, brake test, hill test, and much more. So make sure you stick around. We're going to go ahead and get started with today's episode of Hobart's Reviews. So right now, Engwe is selling the original version 1.0 on their website for $999, but you can get the version 2.0 for just a couple of $100 more at $1,199. But is it worth it? For tires, we still keep the same 20-inch by 4-inch Chow Yang tires, but on the original version, the tires and the sidewalls are all black. On the new version 2.0, we've got this tan colored sidewalls, which is a small change, but it does give the bike a fresh look. Now the mag wheels have been slightly updated in their design. Not much, it's pretty much the same wheel, but there is a slight difference in the design of the mag wheels. Of course, mag wheels a bit stronger than having spoked wheels, so I really like these wheels. For disc brakes on the version 1.0, you had 160mm discs and mechanical disc brakes, while on the new version 2.0, we've been upgraded to 180mm discs and full hydraulic brakes. Now both bikes have front suspension, but on version 1 you had an adjustment for the load, while on version 2 you don't. Some may say that's a disadvantage or a con, but so far this front suspension has worked really nice. Both bikes have rear suspension, but on version 1 it was a fixed suspension with no adjustments. On version 2, this is an adjustable air shock where you can add or remove air from that nozzle right there to stiffen or to soften up your ride. Now depending on the way you look at it, the fenders have been upgraded. Now on the original version 1.0, they had metal fenders which can get loud and can rattle when you're riding. They are a little bit more durable, but on the version 2.0, we've got plastic fenders now, which are whisper quiet and don't rattle at all, but might be a little less durable. The handlebar stem has also been upgraded. On the original version, it was pretty flat, if not angled slightly down. As you can see on version 2.0, they've given us an angle up, which raises the handlebars higher and makes it more comfortable to ride. Now the M20 version 1 used a 48-volt, 13-amp-hour battery and had a 47-mile range on throttle only, while the version 2 steps it up to 52 volts and has a 15.6-amp-hour battery, which gives it a 60-mile range on throttle only. One feature I like about these batteries is that you have this little button here and a gauge where it can show you exactly how much battery life you have in each battery at any point in time. Both version 1.0 and 2.0 allow for you to remove the batteries, and they do give you two separate sets of keys, and they are specific to each battery. To remove it, you're just going to put the key in and turn it, give it a push forward like so, and you can remove the battery. Now don't forget you have a power button on the side here, and underneath this cover is your charging port, which is nice to keep the weather out. Now this allows you to bring it inside if you're going to be at a restaurant and you need some charging done and you can't bring the whole bike inside. So you could bring it in, charge it, bring it back out, put it back on the bike, lock it in place, and you're ready to ride. Now the seat in the version 2.0 is pretty much the same, but I feel like it has a little bit more of an angle to it than on version 1.0. And when you're sitting on it, you do have a battery right here at your crotchal area, which so far hasn't gotten in the way, but that angle on that seat kind of pushes you towards that battery. When I sit on it and ride it, I feel almost like I'm riding on a chopper. I don't know why I feel that way, but it's almost like I'm kind of reached out like this. It's not uncomfortable, but it is a little bit different than some of the other bikes that I've tested before. We'll have to see on the ride if it does become uncomfortable after riding for several miles. Now in the rear here, we do have a 7-speed Shimano Tourney gear shifter, and they've also upgraded this guard here to be a little bit beefier to protect this area. Now we do have a cadence sensor on this bike, which means that when you pedal, it's going to give you all the power. Unfortunately, after about 20 miles an hour, the gears don't allow you to keep up with the pedaling, and you're going to be ghost pedaling all the way up to that top speed of 28 miles an hour. Now the headlights on version 2 should be the same as in version 1. When the bike is powered on, you've got this halo effect, and those stay on all the time. When you use the controls on the handlebars to turn on the headlights, the center lights up. Now I like having two headlights and that they're adjustable because I have one angle down to the ground that gives me an up close view, while this one is angled a little bit further out so I can get a nice view out in front of me while I'm riding at night. Now the cockpit is set up pretty much the same as version 1 except for that color LCD display, and I think they moved the power button from the top down to the bottom here. To turn on the bike, you're just going to tap that power button one time and it's going to turn the bike on. After it goes to its little checks, bam, it's ready to go. Now you're going to start off in pedal assist 0 which means you get 0 help from the bike. It's all you pedaling. But if you want the pedal assist, you can hit the plus button here and go from 0 up to 5, and then 5 back down to 0. Over here, you got really nice rubberized buttons, which I like a lot. You've got your headlight button here, and you got a nice little horn. Over on the right side is our Shimano 7-speed shifter. The lever is going to bring you from 7 down to gear 1, while the button brings you from 1 back up to gear 7. Of course, you got your hydraulic disc brake handles here and your half-twist throttle on the right side. And that's a look at the cockpit. Well, now that we know the differences between the M20 version 1 and version 2, let's take version 2 out on a ride. We'll head out on the road, test it out, and see if any of those upgrades really do make a difference. All right, I always like to start off with an acceleration and top speed test, and we're gonna do 2 quick tests today. We're gonna do one with the throttle only, which should get us to 20 miles an hour, and I'm gonna do one with pedaling only, which should get us to 28 miles an hour. Now, I do wanna mention that I have the GPS app running so we can find out what kind of range estimates we can get at the end of the ride, so make sure you stick around for the end of the ride to find out what kind of range we're getting on this bike. All right, let's start off with the throttle only, and go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All right, 9 seconds. 9 seconds to get to the top speed of 20 miles an hour with the throttle. So let's go ahead and do a test on pedaling only and see if we can get to the top speed and how long that takes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 18, 19 seconds. All right, so 19 seconds with pedaling to get to 28 and 9 seconds to get us to the 20 mile an hour top speed with our throttle. All right, so now I want to test the different speed modes. Now with the throttle, you can get up to 20 mile an hour no matter what speed mode you're in. But if you're going to be pedaling, then that is where the speed modes or the pedal assist modes are going to come into play. Now right now I'm in pedal assist mode 1 and I am at 8 miles an hour. Let me go to pedal assist 2 and let's see what it brings us up to. Brings us up to 10 miles an hour. Pedal assist 3, whoa, we get a kick of power there with pedal assist 3. It looks like we're at about 14 and a half, 15 miles an hour with pedal assist 3. Pedal assist 4 gets us up to 20 miles an hour before the motor cuts out. And then of course we know with pedal assist 5, we can get all the way up to 28 miles an hour. I've even seen it get to 30 before, so it goes a little bit over the 28. Let's see if we can do that here. 28, 29. All right, it looks like that's where it's gonna max out today is 29 or so miles an hour, which isn't bad. Not bad at all. All right, so there's a big dirt hill, and I wanna try to see if the M20 version 2.0 can get anywhere up that dirt hill. I'm also gonna ride it around in this dirt out here, so we'll get a little bit more off-road experience, but I do wanna try to see if we can get up that hill. We've got about a half a battery here, so let's go ahead and give it a try. I'm using the throttle right now, whoa! Slipping and sliding around. Now I wanna try to see if I can go up this hill right here. So let me give it some power. Oh, yeah, it's still getting us up. It's getting us up. We're getting up. Keep going, baby. Keep going, keep going, keep going. All right, look at that. So it does have enough power to get us up this high on the dirt hill. We're not all the way at the top, but there's a lot of ruts up there, so I don't know if I can make it there. But as you can see, we went up quite a bit here with this 750 watt motor, so I'm pretty impressed with it. All right, so there's another dirt hill across the street here that's a little newer. I think that there's more of a ramp that I could ride up. I just don't know if I'm allowed to ride up it. Probably not, but what do you say? Let's go ahead and see if we can get up that. That's the ramp all the way from there, all the way up to the top there. So let's see if I can go up there without getting in trouble. Let's go. Get a little bit of speed going. And here we go. Here we go. Here we go, baby. Come on, pedaling, pedaling. We're getting to the top. We're going all the way up, baby. Yeah, look at that. Powered right up the hill, right up to the top. All the way to the top of this baby. Look at that, woohoo. All right. So another win for the M20 2.0. With a little bit of speed, I was able to get all the way to the top of this huge mountain, this huge dirt mountain. So I gotta give it 2 thumbs up when it comes to off-roading and riding up hills. Definitely has the power to do so. Now I do see a white truck down there that's slowing down. I'm wondering if I'm gonna get in trouble, but at least we were able to see the M20 get to the top of this hill. Nice job. All right, let's see how this thing does on some gravel off-road trails. What kind of traction do we have going? We're at 15 miles an hour right now. Now these tires are only pressurized to 20 PSI, so these fat tires are at a lot lower of a PSI than some of the regular size tires are. So they are a bit softer, which is a good thing because they can help with cushioning your ride. Whoa, look at the deer. There's deer, white-tailed deer. I've not seen that in South Florida before. That's pretty cool. You never know what you're gonna see when you're out in nature, right? All right, so let's go ahead and do a brake test, high-speed brake test, 21 miles an hour, slamming on the brakes, and whoa! All right. Well, that was a little bit more controlled. As you can see, I left a pretty good streak here. Let's pace it out real quick. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, about 30 feet it took me to stop from 21 miles an hour. They did lock up, but I did feel that it was a pretty controlled stop. And overall did a pretty good job when it came to the brake test, so nice brake test. All right, so one thing about this bike is that they have changed some things from the version 1 to make it more, let's just say a class 3 e-bike, more abiding by the rules and the laws. So you can only use the throttle up to 20, you can only pedal up to 28. The problem is with the gear setup, you're not gonna be able to keep up with the pedaling after about 20 miles an hour. So you're basically gonna be ghost pedaling if you wanna get up to 28. As you can see here, I'm going as fast as I can. So I did reach 30 miles an hour with no wind, but as you can see, my legs are going really, really, really fast. So it's just much easier to ghost pedal because this has a cadence sensor. So it's not measuring your torque. It just wants to know if you're moving your feet or not. If you're moving your feet, even really slow like this, you're still gonna hold the top speed because of that cadence sensor. But don't think that you're gonna be able to pedal at 28 miles an hour unless you want to pedal this fast. Now, before we get to my pros and cons, let's get the range part of the business out of the way. So earlier in the day today, I went 5.75 miles and then had to go home and charge my battery on my camera. So now on this run, we've gone 16.83 miles. And when you add both of those together, you get 22.58 miles. Now I still have 3 out of 5 battery bars left, so I still have over 50% battery, which tells me that I should be able to get pretty darn close to the 60 miles of range using the throttle only. Now let's take a look at my pros and cons. Number 1 is gonna be this motor was able to power us up that huge dirt mountain that we went up earlier, and I didn't think it was gonna be able to do that. So 750 watt motor, 52 volt batteries, 1200 watt peak in that motor with a little bit of pedaling, all 300 pounds of us was able to get up that huge mountain. So that's a huge pro. Pro number 2 is gonna be the gear shifters. Just seamless, tuned perfectly right out of the factory. Going from gear 1 to 7 and from 7 to 1, you didn't get any of that in between gears or anything like that. It was quiet and it was instant. So the gear shifting tuned really nice coming out of the factory. Also, the front and rear suspension, absolutely awesome. Now, normally when riding, especially something with such a hard seat, after a few miles, your butt starts to hurt. But because of that air shock right there, I was able to just bounce with the bumps in the road and the rocks and the ruts and all that when going off-road, and it didn't hurt my butt that much. Now, don't get me wrong, this seat is hard and it is a con, but that air suspension is really nice, so I gotta give it to it. We really put that suspension to the test today when going off-road, and it passed with flying colors. I'm also a big fan of the taillight and the dual headlights. So I have the headlight set so the lower one is right in front of me so I can see right in front, and then the one above it is a little bit further out so I can get a little bit more of a distance when I'm riding at night, because you need that when riding at night. But the fact that you can adjust both of them, definitely a huge pro, and that taillight is pretty nice as well. What else do I like? Removable batteries. I like that you can remove these, bring them inside the restaurant, whatever you're doing, charge them up, bring them back out and put them back on the bike. Also, they each have a battery meter here that you can push the button and see exactly how much battery that you have left. And I think that's also a really nice feature as well. What do I do not like? Well, I'm not a fan of this seat right here. The seat is a little hard. Good thing for this air suspension under here. Otherwise, I would have to take a butt brake every few miles. But I wish that they would make this a little bit more plush. That would be real nice. What else? Oh, the brakes, they do work well. But I'm starting to get a little bit of squeaking, and I'm hoping that that doesn't continue and get even worse. So as of now, it's just a little bit. It's not a lot at all, but I'm hoping that that's where it stays. The brakes do work really well though. I like that we have hydraulic brakes, so that's an upgrade from those mechanical brakes. And of course we have larger discs. Overall though, it's a really nice bike, and I do think that it's worth the extra couple $100 to get the version 2.0 over the version 1.0. So if you do want to pick one of these up and help support the channel, I'm gonna leave a link down below for you. It is an affiliate link that doesn't cost you any more, but does help out the channel and allows me to keep making videos like this. Also, don't forget to check out my website, hobartreviews.com, for more reviews like this. I've also got merchandise up there. It doesn't have my name plastered all over it. It's just a bunch of funny t-shirts and hoodies and coffee mugs and things that are all electric scooter and e-bike related. So go check those out by going to my website, hobartreviews.com, and clicking on the merch tab. Well, for the Engwe M20 version 2.0 and Hobart Reviews, my name is Hobart. Thanks so much for joining me. Have a great rest of your day, and we'll talk to you next time. See you later.